Friends, here's what you need to know. Real estate is hot. Fundraising, not so much. And I'm not talking about just the market you're in. I don't care what city, what state, what year you see this interview. The fact is, real estate will always be a better way to fund nonprofits than traditional fundraisers, period. And we are here on this podcast to interview people who understand why this is so beneficial for the nonprofits, for the donors, for the real estate agents. And we've got one of our dearest friends from one of the nonprofits here in Sarasota, The Haven. Hallie, share with our viewers, why do you think gifts of real estate are so beneficial for the nonprofit, for the donors, whichever direction you want to take it?
It's kind of hard because there are so many directions I want to take it. The first thing I thought about being somebody who plans fundraising events that maybe will bring in, $58,000 and take months or a year of work. There could be one house sale in a day just because the right person saw it and they wanted to get rid of that property anyway, and they don't need the additional income. And that's 10 times that amount of money or more in this market right now in just one transaction. So I think I have the perspective of being somebody who works really hard to fundraise, and it's a labor of love and it's wonderful and it's hard, but to see that there's a way to increase a single donation tenfold by just educating people and letting them know this is an option, it just seemed like a no-brainer to me.
Well, and don't get us wrong, friends. If you love doing your fundraisers, Hallie's planning a gala right now, golf tournaments, all these things are always happening, and we love them. As a matter of fact, we're doing a book launch. Real estate is hot, fundraising is not. The Haven is in the book. I'll show you a picture in a minute. And when we do that book launch, we're going to give them half the proceeds of the book as a fundraiser. But the fact is, 43% of our wealth as a nation is held in real estate. But only 3% is in cash. So we love meeting people like the Haven who understand, do we want to keep just going after the 3% of cash? Or does it make sense to start educating our people? Speaking of which, you mentioned to me that one of the things you love about this is the fact that you can get these donations directly from the donors you already have. Talk to us about that.
Yes, so we have so many incredible and amazing and generous and loyal donors. And I love the ability to foster those relationships with them and show them the gratitude that we already have for them for their support for us. And in turn, it feels like it's almost a favor to them to let them know that this is an option. Like, instead of just writing a check for $500,000, what if it was a real estate transaction and you didn't have to pay the capital gains tax? Because as much as people love to give and as generous as they are, of course, we all want our tax benefit and we all want our financial benefit and we want to do what makes the most sense. And so I think it's a way for us I think we would be doing our donors currently a disservice if we didn't let them know about every single option, because if they're giving that much anyway already, don't they want to do it smarter if they have the opportunity to?
Amen. I couldn't have said it better. The fact that we are letting donors know that they can give smarter and they can actually put money back in their pocket from the taxes that they save and or just give that much more to you. So let me share screen and show you all the photo we have here. This is actually at the Haven. It's such a beautiful, it is a haven right in the middle of Sarasota. I've been there. It's wonderful. And what we really love about it is that you, Hallie, are so visionary. We run into nonprofits all the time that don't get it. They just don't get it. I'm like, what do you not get? You can get $500,000 on average from one donor. What is that one thing that you'd like your fellow nonprofits to know about not only charitable gifts of real estate, but the way that we do it here at the Real Agents of Change?
I have to say, I feel your frustration coming through, because I know when I am so passionate about something and so educated on that topic and love something and just want people to know about it and to be excited about it. It's like me in the Haven. Like when I want people to know about the Haven and I realize people don't know we're here, I'm like, well, you need to know we're here. And I know that it's the same with you. And I think that's what we bonded over instantly, is because we both share that passion for what we love and we want everyone to know about it. And I think it's easy for nonprofits to say, well, I don't know this woman. I don't have time to learn about anything right now. We already have so much going on, blah, blah, blah. But it's, Cammie's email might be that one that you skipped over that could have gotten you $1 million in donations just from asking somebody that you already know. So I think it's all about timing. I think it's all about landing in the hands of the right people. I think if you have anything to do with your nonprofit's plan to giving, fundraising, development, bring this to the CEO, bring this to your leaders, because it is such an untapped opportunity. And look where we live. I mean, Selling Sunset just started a show in Tampa. I mean, this market is hot, and there's plenty of real estate. We're known for our real estate. More people are moving here, which means more people are leaving here and selling their homes. And so they have to go somewhere. And obviously it's not the right time in everyone's life to listen to this way to give. But for a lot of people in Sarasota, it is actually very fitting. And this is a perfect market for you to try and spread this mission.
You're absolutely right. It is a timing thing. I mean, even when you and I met, you got it immediately, but it took a couple months before we talked to the board. And then they had things going on leading up to the end of the year, et cetera. And, what I want this audience to know also is you have donors all over the country, potentially all over the world. And the real estate, even though Sarasota is hot and there's a lot of hot money here and old money and, high prices for real estate, this can be real estate from anywhere in the country, in some cases, anywhere in the world, any size. It can be, $100,000, $100 million. You don't have to donate the full amount. You can adjust what your donation is. If it's $1 million condo and you love the Haven, but you don't love them that much, you'd like to get 300,000 back. We can do that too. Like we can give the donor, the team that we work with, can give them the 300,000 cash in less than 30 days, get them off the title, put the property on the market, sell it, and give you, after expenses, the bulk of the proceeds. So, Hallie, what is one last thing you want to share? Remembering this is the edgy version. This is real estate is hot, fundraising is not, and we want to keep it real here. What do you want our people to know?
Just to keep it real, I think a lot of people would shut this idea down as soon as they hear about it, because they think that accepting that gift of real estate is going to be some risk to the organization. It's going to be work on their part. It's going to be something they don't have time for. And when you sit down with Cammie and you learn more about the Real Agents of Change and Realty Gift Fund, and just open your mind to the fact that maybe you don't know everything about how it works yet, you'll learn a lot and you'll be surprised at what you learn. And it's one of those things that from the beginning, it's something that sounds too good to be true, but it is true. So,
I really think that is the biggest sticking point. We say all the time what a win-win-win this is. And I think people have gotten so cynical and so jaded
and
that they're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Friends,
like what's the catch? How much of it do they keep? Very little, actually. And it all has. The more I've learned, the more I've really wanted to push it to my donors as well and educate them, and everybody should know about it. And it benefits them. Like we said, it helps everybody. Win-win-win, as you called it.
Well, people ask us all the time, what's next? What's next? What's next? I think what they're really asking most of the time is, how much does this cost?
Right.
But the what's next is what we're doing right now. This interview is going to be sent not only to our followers and all the Real Agents of Change. You're going to share this throughout the country, because we're all wanting to educate our public, our population. But this will also be shared with the Haven and the Haven staff and the Haven volunteers. This simple 15 minutes could be what brings in millions of dollars for the Haven, because this is the what's next. Friends, the what's next is simply letting people know. That's it. Guess what? That's free. I mean, could you hire us to do marketing? Sure. You know, do we want to get paid to help you with that stuff? Yeah, a little bit. Frankly, I'd rather do interviews like this and just have the donations come in free of charge. So thank you so much for your vision, for your friendliness, for your ability to return a phone call, for your desire and your passion. You know, like you said, this is one of the things you and I bonded over, was the fact that we're both so passionate about helping the people that we say we're here to help. Because a lot of people will stand on a soapbox and talk about what they want to do for people. But when it comes down to it, they're not doing anything that gets them out of their comfort zone.
Yes. And I think to grow, you have to step out of your comfort zone and you have to be afraid to try something new. And had I not learned that lesson, I wouldn't be at the Haven. I wouldn't have switched careers. So I think it translates in every area of life. And just because something is new to your organization doesn't mean that it's bad or too good to be true. You know, it's, if we want to evolve, it's time to evolve with what's currently happening.
And just because you've never heard of this and it's been around for 100+ years on the US tax code, just because you've never heard of it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So sometimes it's ego, and sometimes, you know, sometimes we say, is it arrogance or is it ignorance? Is it that the person just didn't know what they didn't know? Or is it that if it wasn't their idea, it must not be a good one? So thank you for not being arrogant. Ignorant, I was ignorant. I didn't know about it 2.5 years ago. The day that I was sitting in that conference and I learned about this, I'll never forget where I was. I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I was at a conference. It was 3 months before the pandemic happened. I was at a conference that I thought there were going to be 100 nonprofits there. I went there to meet and mingle with them about something completely different. I got there, there's like 12 people in the room, and I'm sitting there bored out of my mind. And the guy puts up on the screen, charitable gifts of real estate.
It's like that light bulb moment.
What? Yeah. I was like, how have I been in real estate for 15 years and done fundraising for Ronald McDonald and Make-A-Wish and the smallest nonprofit to the largest, and I never heard of it. And that moment changed my life. And I realized that was what I was put on the planet, so that I would go to that conference and hear that speaker about something that I thought, how have I never heard of this? And I realized, 99% of people never heard of this, but not anymore, because people like me are finding people like you. And together we're moving the needle from 9 billion a year already. Every year, 9 billion is going to nonprofits from the gifting of real estate, but it's a tiny 2% of what nonprofits bring in. Experts say that 2% is going to turn to 6 lousy percent, and that's 29 billion a year. And it's going to happen because of people like us. So thank you so much. I can't wait to see you at the book launch. Friends, if you want the first chapter of this book for free, go to my profile on LinkedIn or just Google me. I'm everywhere. Happy to get you the first chapter for free. And we'll see you on the next episode of Real Estate is Hot, Fundraising's Not.
Thanks, Cammie.